Hello, I'm Rex Irwin from mindmatters.me. I live on the Sunshine Coast, and I'm going to begin with an understanding of the relationship between development and culture and sustainability. It's very easy at the macrocosm when we see big events like the destruction of the Amazon rainforests and or Kalimantan, Indonesian Borneo and the forest there, or the threat on a large scale to peoples or cities and cultures and the environment. It's very easy to notice it and to take action at that level to varying degrees. And yet at the microcosm, there is the equal proportion of unsustainability taking place across the world. It starts with our homes, our families, the maintenance of our houses, the use of our properties, the way we treat our staff in business contexts, the way we treat our families, the way we communicate within our community, the way we contribute and or stay in an isolated way of operating, separate from the community, without really noticing the effect we're having through our withdrawal and or through using the space in a way that is selfish or self-gaining. So one of the natures of being human is that we have this wonderful propensity to initiate, to have initiative, to create, to grow, to expand, to evolve. And it's a beautiful thing through the art of imagination in the manifest, creating something in the physical from inspiration that is beautiful. The learning that I believe is important as I frame up listening to a beautiful person called Lynn Saxton, who deals with Development Watch on the Sunshine Coast, predominantly around Coolum. And the focus, she and the beautiful people around her are attempting to deal with where lack of attention is taking place in the microcosm. So when I look at Kalimantan, Indonesian Borneo, and see the forests being destroyed on a huge scale, 50% of the forest gone, and I look at the disenfranchisement of the peoples there, the Dayak people who are indigenous to that culture, and across the world where we've done this over and over again, the cedars of Lebanon, the beautiful cedar forests through the east coast of Australia, and look at the industry, the commercialization, which is important in relation to the relationship with the culture, the community, and the balance of that. And we look at it in the oceans with fishing. We look at it across all dimensions where we have the privilege as human beings to touch, to influence, and to pay attention. So, it is important for us to make a living in the current financial model, to make money, to have enough money, to have a sustainable life, and to have choice and joy. It is also important that the vehicle through which we create that money is in relation, in balance, in harmony with the communities, the cultures that we are part of. And influence as a part of, as an emphasis, is that we are part of those communities, even if we're just touching them from a business perspective. So the name Seksui as an organisation is a developmental organisation for developing property. The industry of development and property is to look for opportunity to develop property and maximize the return on how we use that property. We can go up into the sky, we can expand out onto the property, and we look to make as much as we can on the limitation of that property. And it makes sense. Most people understand the dynamic of that, and that the industry of developing is about making money from developing property. And we understand that the idea is to be successful financially. It's just important also to notice the impact. And we have councils, we have governments to negotiate, to facilitate the balance between the development of those properties and the community, and helping ensure that community agreed town plans are followed as agreed, and the wider globe and the influence and impact we have and the sustainability long term of those strategies. We notice it even with farming now. We're noticing farming has taken far too many trees and is paying a high price in drought-stricken areas and so on and so forth. So there's an interview coming up with Lynn Saxton from Development Watch on the Sunshine Coast, talking with Catherine Connolly from mindmatters.me about this. And I'd like you to pay particular attention to this conversation, because it's not about making anybody wrong. It's not about going up against anybody. It's about reminding people that there is a responsibility and a grace and an intellect and a community and a relationship with the earth and a relationship with people and children and all of that which is part of the living community. So I'd like you to listen to this beautiful conversation and make a decision as to where you stand in relation to these issues.